Behnke, head football coach at Brillion, going into my second year there. I was an assistant there 2 years prior, so this is my fourth year coaching total at Brillion. Jason Keller's been an assistant there 13 years. He was there when I went to school. He's been working with running backs the majority of those 13 years. The last 4 years, we've coached running backs together and have started implementing new things and developing new things. So both at the high school level and then in Brillion, just because of numbers, we have an opportunity to work with the youth quite a bit as well, through youth camps and some joint practices. So we're going to talk about some things that we use with our 4th, 5th graders, our middle school teams, 6th, 7th, and even at the high school level. So hopefully you'll get something for whatever level you're at, and maybe some principles that you can use in some drills you're already using. One thing, we are a wing T team, so some of the drills are going to be like wing T-ish that maybe you guys don't do. I'll try to give you suggestions on how you could use it in your offense, okay? So with that being said, at the youth level, we found that the more enjoyable you can make it for kids, the better it's going to be for them, the better running backs they're going to become. So we want to start with, I picked this up last year. We went to Jeff Trickey football camp. Okay, Jeff Trickey was doing this with quarterbacks in high school. It's simple ball skills as if you're a basketball coach. Okay, so you're going around the legs, around the world, figure eights. Reason being, especially coming off a summer break, not a lot of kids are throwing one of these around throughout a whole summer, okay? Maybe your really good players are, but you're gonna see kids that just need to get the feel of football again. This is a drill we use the first 2 weeks of practice just to get them in the feel of it again. Each one 15 to 20 seconds. In 3 minutes, you have them go through ball skills, okay? One that we like to use is you throw it up and you have to catch it, a little hand-eye coordination. At the youth level, it helps you identify which kids are really good with hand-eye coordination, which are a little rough but have potential, and which one are linemen, okay? So it helps separate them right away, okay? We have them just do it in a big circle and we lead in the middle. Then what we do is we talk about how to hold a football, okay? I talk about 3 points of contact. I tell them to make a Y with your index and middle finger, split the nose of the football. Second point is the bottom nose of the football into your bicep. Third point is the side of the football into your chest. Okay, I go through all 3 of those with them and say, now guys, this is high and tight. Okay, the reason I say that is some coaches they use the term high and tight, and it's a great term if kids know what you mean by when you say high and tight. So you got to teach them what high and tight is. Okay, so we teach them what high and tight is, and I say, if I say high and tight, this is where I want. Okay, kids are going to look really good like this, and then you can tell them to jog in place, and you're going to see kids start running like this because they don't understand how to run with a football. Okay, you're just shorter jabs with the ball hand, and you're going to be pumping the other one a little bit more. So now they're going to start running like this, and they're going to look good. Okay, switch hands. They're going to have to go through that whole learning curve again with their opposite hand. Okay, but if you do this, again, 2 to 3 minutes at the start of practice with your running backs in a week, you're going to have some running backs that can run with the ball high and tight and secure, okay? So it's quick, everyone can do it, and you're going to get a lot out of it. Then we go into teaching them how to switch arms, okay? A little advanced for younger level, but late middle school and definitely in high school, you want running backs that can switch hands, okay? So what we teach is rolling the ball across the chest. Kids are going to want to grab at it, roll it across the chest. When it's across your chest, your other hand comes and grabs it. Now you have 2 hands on the ball. It's very important to have this. You'll see how this comes through in some of the other drills they have. Now you can pull it out and you have it in the opposite hand. So we'll have them running, switch, 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 and they get quick reps at it, okay? Something you can build into, all right? Question? After that, what we do is we go into handoffs, okay? What I tell them, handoffs, okay? Kids don't know how to make a pocket, okay? So we teach them hand just at the top of the belly is where the ball is going to be put, okay? So thumb into your belly, okay? Pinky into the waist, inside elbow up, okay? We split our guys up. It's all about efficiency, a lot of reps. So we split our running backs 50-50 or put them into groups, 4 groups, and do 2 different groups, depending on how many coaches you have. They're going to hand the ball off to each other. So Jason's going to run at me. I'm going to run at Jason. I'm making my pocket. I'm not grabbing at the ball. We teach them, let the quarterback put it in your stomach. When you feel it in your stomach, you're rolling over. Shoulders roll over, eyes are up. Okay? Next guy comes through from that line. I hand it off to the next guy in that line. Okay? The second guy in my line now comes after, and it's a continual line of handoffs. As a coach, you can now watch your running backs hand the ball off to each other. You can say bigger pocket, roll your shoulders, eyes up, and you can give them quick coaching without having to hand the ball off and say, listen, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, okay? Again, it might take a little bit to get set up, but once kids know it, you can do it in 2 minutes and you can have a lot of reps. The next step we take on that one is faking. And the wing tee faking is huge. Okay, you tell a kid to fake, and if they don't know how to fake, they're going to think the more hand movements I can make, the better it looks. No, you don't. I ask my kids, if you see a running back like this, are they getting a handoff? No, and if they are, they're fumbling. Okay, we teach our kids you want to fake as if you're getting the handoff. So the first kid in line is going to fake, the second kid is getting the handoff. All you are doing is when you're faking is you are rolling over and you are continuing on without the ball put in your stomach. So it's on our quarterback to make it look like he's handing the ball off. Now, understand you have running backs handing off to running backs. Their handoffs are going to look real ugly. They're going to pull the ball way too. That's not what you're looking at your faker. So if Jason puts the ball in there in the wrong way, that's the quarterback coach's job. Okay, you're looking at just the faking from a running back perspective. So rolling over, okay, and a lot of times guys they find this tendency where after they fake, they slow down. You want to go as if you have the ball. A lot of kids struggle with it. It's something we have to reiterate weekly at the high school level. But the more you can get it instilled in your youth, the better they're going to be as they grow up. Okay, so that's that. Next drill. Okay, you got to have it be fun at the youth level. Okay, and while they get something out of it. Do you guys know what monkey rolls is? Or are? Does anyone know what a monkey roll is? Can someone just come stand here? You don't have to do the monkey roll?
Good, I can do that. I don't want to have to do the roll. You talk about this right here.
Oh yeah, you know. But you don't have to do them because I don't want to do them a lot either. So, what a monkey roll is, we just started doing it this year. It's working on high and tight, okay? Having a little bit of fun, but working on high and tight, put them in an uncomfortable position. In this drill as a coaching point, okay? This is no air. You want kids to have no air. If they go like this is air, okay? So you can say, there's air, no air, okay? It's quick coaching that they know what you're talking about. So everyone's gonna be laying on their stomach. You can just stand and jump over. Step over. You don't actually, okay. Everyone, all three people have a football, okay? High and tight, no air. I'm gonna start by rolling at Jason. As I roll at Jason, I'm keeping this high and tight. Jason's gonna have to push up over me while making no air, okay? Then the next guy jumps over. He rolls at me. I jump over, no air. I start rolling at Jason, staying high and tight. Okay? It's a fun little activity for kids. They're working on keeping it high and tight. The biggest thing is now they have to work at pushing off with their other hand. Okay, so now when kids are trying to get extra yards, where do they brace themselves? With their opposite hand. It's the first development in them just being comfortable with their opposite hand. Okay. Also, it's when they're falling, they're not going like this. Cheap fumbles happen when kids are falling to the ground and they go like that. So it's the first step in just having them work on that. As a coach, you can have your 12 running backs, 4 different groups, and as a coach, you can just watch. Hey, no air, high and tight. Okay, quick coaching, but they're having fun. In 2 minutes, everyone can have some reps on high and tight. Switch to the opposite hand. They can go through it that way. Okay? We started doing that this year, and the kids loved it. Did a good job of it. Next one is a little more advanced, but it's good if you once you start getting comfortable with your running backs, you can start doing it. As defenses get better, coaches are going to tell them we need to start forcing some fumbles. How do they force fumbles? Rolling or ripping the ball, raking at the ball, and punching up from underneath. So we do this partner running. We'll do this for 15 yards. Okay, you partner up. Guy behind grabs the jersey of this guy. This prevents Jason from running way in front of me and getting away from the drill. I can control the drill now. As he's running for 15 yards, I'm pulling on his jersey and I'm raking at that football, okay? Now the ball carrier now knows what it feels like when a defender is tackling and raking at the same time. How do I sustain that high and tight? We'll go 15 yards down, I'll get the ball, I'll come 15 yards back, then we'll switch hands and do it again. After we do that, the next one, okay? Coaches are telling, if you're chasing a running back down and the running back's carrying the ball like that, what do you got to do? Tackle and pop the ball out, okay? So now, why we keep it to our chest, that elbow stays tucked, I can't punch through that elbow, and if Jason doesn't like it, he starts going like that, I'm going to pop it out. So you're teaching your kids to be strong with the ball as people are trying to hit it up. Okay, so as he's running, I'm just swinging, okay? And you're going at it. Now, you're going to have kids, especially if you do this at the middle school level, kids are going to complain that it hurts my side or it hurts my hand. They'll get used to it. They'll get smart. They'll start pounding up like this instead of like this. They'll get used to it, okay? I have high school kids complain about it all the time. They get used to it and it makes them better. The last thing you would do, last thing I do with my guys, I have them sprint 5 yards, going back to getting more yards. After 5 yards, they go opposite foot, opposite hand on the ground like this for 5 yards. They pop back up and run 5 yards. Okay, that's simulating getting tripped up through the line of scrimmage. Okay, as a coach, you can now see guys that go like this, high and tight. Okay, I mean, what you want to see as a coach, and you're going to know who your good running backs are, or kids that want to get better, they're going to fall or do a somersault after their second or third hop because they're going that fast. Okay, kids are going to want to slow down, and I tell them, are you getting better if you slow down and hop? No, you got to be uncomfortable. Okay, I'd rather you do a somersault because you're going so fast. You just got 3 to 4 extra yards, and that's what we're looking for as a coach. Okay, so that's a simple one. Okay, 3 guys hold the bags. You just get to hit me with it. Okay, that's all you have to do. As they're getting set up, okay, this is going to be the gauntlet, and I'm going to run through that in a little bit, simulating run through the line of scrimmage. Before I go into that, I'm going to talk about the thing that I think more running back coaches can implement into a lot of drills, and that's identifying cuts as you go through the line of scrimmage or secondary cuts. If you want a good running back to become great as they get into high school, their vision is what makes the difference. That's going to take a guy that can get 5 to 6 yard carries to the 15, 20 yard level. Okay? So as I come through the gauntlet, okay, Jason, this would be if you have one coach. If you're a one coach show at the running backs, you can use a pad so you can watch this drill or whatever drill's going on while making them use their eyes. So when I come through the gauntlet, I'm going to have shoulders down, ball like this, and Jason can now move the pad one way or the other. So that could be a linebacker over pursuing. Okay, if I'm running, what do I want to do? Over pursuing linebacker, cut against the grain. Okay, if I'm like this, my eyes are up, I can now cut, and the ball's in the proper hand. Okay, so it's a simple thing to add at the end of a drill, and you're helping a kid develop his eyesight. Okay, some kids are just naturally good at getting their eyes up and visualize. Not a lot of running backs are naturally good at that. You can teach them that. Okay, and if you start at the younger level, they'll be better when they get to high school. Now, that would be if you have one coach, or if your offense, if you're going to have an offense with a lot of unblocked linebackers, that might be what you want to do. In the wing T, we have a lot of pulling guards that are going to be leading up the hole, or running backs leading up the hole. So we teach our kids to read the butt of their blocker. So Jason, if he's an assistant coach, he's going to be there making blocks. If his butt's facing this way, I know he's blocking that way. So when I come through, I'm going to cut off his block, and I'm going to come up and cut this way. All right, so you're teaching kids to read blocks or read the defense, okay? Now, that's something you could add into other drills, and I'll tell you, in like some drills will be like, you can add the block at the end, okay? The gauntlet is a kid running as if it's in the line of scrimmage. So we start with a handoff. I receive the handoff. I'm rolling over my shoulders. Eyes are up. You guys can hit me a little bit, not too hard. And I'm going to come through. Eyes are up, shoulders down. Okay, I'm going to come, cut, and out. Okay, you want the kids running. I tell our guys, anytime a defender is by you, 2 hands on the ball. You'll see in our agility cones why 2 hands on the ball. If I come through the line of scrimmage right now, 2 guys, 2 hands on the ball, it allows me to get my shoulders down. I'm not going to fumble, and it allows me to cut both ways. Okay, if I have it in my right hand and I want to cut to the left, if I want to cut to the left and I cut like this and this defender gets off, where's that ball? Right by that defender. I don't like that situation right there if I'm an offensive coach. Okay, so get the kids in the habit. Anytime there's a blocker or a defender, 2 hands on the ball, protect it so that they can make the appropriate cut and be secure with the ball. You can drop your pad. Now, that's if you are a power team, okay? In Brillion, we also have 140-pound halfbacks that I don't want running through the line of scrimmage. Those are the kids that go on jet sweeps for us, that just run away from people. Okay, so if I'm doing a drill, I'm handing the jet sweep off, okay, my guy's getting it, he's putting it in the opposite hand. These guys are defenders trying to knock me out of bounds. Your kids, by nature, are gonna just want to get out of bounds so that they don't get hit. We teach them, plant your foot about 1 yard from the sideline, you get upfield and you rip through with your inside shoulder while keeping it high and tight. So they're going to try hitting you out, and you got to stay on and get those 3 to 4 extra yards. It's amazing what this can do. We actually, you guys are dropping. We do this drill. We had a couple guys this year on a jet sweep. Had defenders coming here. They cut up, and those defenders take bad angles or think you're running out of bounds. They now come off your butt, and we score long touchdowns because of bad pursuit angles, where if we have guys that just want to run out of bounds, we're never going to get those breakaways. Now, if you don't run the wing T or anything with the jet sweeps, but you do a lot of bubbles with your receivers, could you do a little bubble with your receivers and have them do that? Definitely could. Okay, you can use this I think it's a good skill if you have any quick guys that are going to be going around the sidelines, okay? So that's that. Now we go on to our cones. We do this one a lot with our guys as well. We do 5 diagonal cones. Again, this is one where 5 yards down the field after the last cone, you can have a coach blocking or with a pad, okay? The first one we do is not giving a cut. These cones simulate defenders, okay? So as Jason comes to the defender, he's covering the ball up with 2 hands, okay? As he cuts off that defender, he can now switch the ball to his outside hand, okay? So it allows them to switch the ball into the other hand. If I'm coming up to this guy and I want to cut that way, and I don't cover it up, I cut. Again, you guys see the problem here? That defender can put his hat right on this ball. Again, it might not become a fumble, but I don't like our chances there, okay? I'd rather our guy go like this, okay? So every time there's a defender, you're putting your hands like this. Next one we do is a side step, okay? And now I get guys, and this is big for running back. What's the difference between a cut and a side step? Well, I use this as like a fullback trap. It could be an inside zone. If I hand it off to the fullback and our guard gets blown up on his pull, that D tackle's right there. Or if it's an inside zone and D tackle pinches in when you didn't think he was going to, are you just going to cut off that guy? Does that give you a good lane to your gap? No. You got to come up here, side shuffle. You now have your new gap, and you got to go forward. Okay. So now you got to teach them the difference between a side shuffle and a side step and a cut. So you're coming up here, boom, and you're going. So we do a side step. Okay, or a step. You can use whatever, call it whatever you want. Okay. The last one we do, where it comes to avoiding a defender, is a spin. I think a spin, if you start implementing in your youth, kids will become better at using it. Now, at the youth level, you tell 6th graders to spin, they're going to be on one foot, ball's going to be out here. You got to teach them how to spin. Break down on the cone, 2 hands on the ball. Now as they come out of their spin, they can now switch hands just like that. So all of these, ball comes here and you can come out to the proper one. Okay, it's big when you're talking ball security, solid fundamentals of running backs, that the kids understand that. The last one we do is Jason plays several here this weekend. And this goes back to being uncomfortable, like falling over. Okay, so he's going to go to the cone, put his hand down, cut off with it. Okay, like he's catching himself and maybe he can push off for some more yards, okay? Again, as a coach, you can watch that high and tight. Again, this is one. Kids are gonna want to go through it, not very fast, just so they don't look stupid. I want the kids that are gonna fall on their 2nd or 3rd cone because they're going hard. Okay, that's what we're going for, all right? This is a drill I should add. If you have more coaches, if we have a couple of our volunteers that are out there, they'll stand along the line with some shield pads and give them pops as they're running. Keeps kids from staying low. You'll find that kids are going to go to their spin and they're going to come out like this. Kids aren't good at getting back, running behind their shoulders. So if you have some guys that give them some pop, you can do that as well to help them run low. Okay. A staple drill in what we do is called the teardrop. It's teaching kids to bounce outside. You know, if I break through the line of scrimmage, I want to run away from that linebacker and safety. I don't want to give up ground though. So it's pressing and gaining ground, okay? So I'm getting the handoff, okay? I'm running, just sidestepping, pressing, sidestepping, pressing, sidestepping. Again, this is one, you could go 5 yards, cut one way or the other. This is one, you could have it going into the sideline, have 2 guys with bags, finishing down the sideline. You can add drills into each other to get the most out of your reps. Now, if you start getting a little more advanced, and you want your guys to be able to do more, okay, you have a stud running back. Okay, no reason you can't do some stiff arms here. So push, stiff arm, okay, and pressing out the field. So those are some things you can add to this drill. So you do it a couple ways, you know, then you just flip. You can do it back, so you don't have kids running around in loops. You just do it back the other way, and you slide them over, you can go with the opposite hand. Okay? That's what we just try to do. Any questions on anything? All right. Well, thanks guys for listening. Thanks for football. Good luck on your seasons this year.
Thanks, Coach.